during your Dr. Purulekar, during your talk, you spoke of accelerated India rise. The US brought in to counter China actually. Now, looking at the composition of President Biden's cabinet, will this get affected? Because will they bring in the concept of the trouble of Kashmir in between our relationships? Because his cabinet is more diverse and his advisors are from different countries with whom we may not have that great relationship. What's your take on that?
Look, I mean, when you have bilateral, discussions, some irritants are always there on the table. And I think this is something that in a mature relationship, we have come to expect from the United States. I mean, let's not forget that even when Imran Khan met with Trump, there was some suggestion from Trump because he spoke impromptu, which kind of gave India the feeling that Trump wanted to get involved in Kashmir. And immediately the Indian Foreign Office hit back. And then, of course, Trump flipped and said, no, that was never an idea. In the case of the so-called liberals or the Democrats in America, we have come to expect there will be some degree of chatter on human rights, on Kashmir. They will try to lecture us. But I don't think it will be the same as it used to be with Robin Raphael and the Clinton administration, because times have changed a lot. I think America's own strategic appraisal of India has come a long way, obviously, because India is a much different India today in 2021 than India was, let's say, in 1998 or 1999. So in that sense, we are used to this. We are not going to get too hung up on this. I don't see Kashmir or human rights becoming such an issue that the very relationship is on stake. That's not going to happen. But we have to deal with situations like Obama. When Obama came to India, he lectured us on his last speech before going back to America. And we took it in our stride. We gave it back in the way in which we should, saying there are red lines, and we move on. I think the bigger issue that I feel, and I'm a little less skeptical than my dear friend, Dr. Nand Kishor, because I think even though Biden is a president who will try to be politically correct, and he's steeped in the Obama approach, I think the existentiality of the threat from China to America is increasingly dawning on the establishment in America. I think Americans are now recognizing that in the face of China, they are not just facing any other challenger, they are facing an existential threat to American dominance. And to that extent, if they continue to be only politically correct, then probably by 2030, as the Americans themselves say, not only will China have eclipsed them economically, but they themselves acknowledge that China will be very close to matching them technologically. And this is where I believe that I would hope, and I am quite confident that if you listen to what Blinken said, Blinken actually tried to turn back the clock by saying, we agree with Trump's approach on China, but we will have different instrumentalities. I think there is an appreciation that they should not throw out everything that Trump has done only because Trump was Trump. There are certain good policies that Trump brought in, like the Clean Technology Initiative. I think the Clean Technology Initiative is something that the Biden administration is expected to take up. And possibly with Boris Johnson's help and many other countries going forward, we might be able to see something like a D10 or a kind of a Clean Technologies 10 shaping up as a kind of a pushback against China. So I would not be very much worried with the off comments here or there, like Kamala Harris's views, for example, on Kashmir or on human rights. I think what is more important is America's strategic establishment is convinced that India's acceleration as a Asian power, not only a regional power, but a continental power, is in the long-term interest of the United States and in the long-term interest of peace, security, and stability across the Asian continent.